we've been imprinted and wounded, and we look at our parts of our body. We can't love the parts of our body because of this negative imprinting or talismanic energy that has been absorbed. It's actually in there. It's in our sexual organs. It's in our excrement. And you can feel the negativity in the word excrement, I think, even though it's just a pure scientific word. To excrete, it's so strong, is the power of these negative talismans. It can cripple us until we learn to connect with the true sacredness in the things and in who we are. So, speaking of sacred talismans, again I would like to return to the sacred Aleph Bet, from which comes the alphabet and so on. That Aleph Bet, first of all, that Aleph contains the Av, love, and the Lef, that Fe, Fa sound radiates the love of the Ah, and the Lamed of the high dimensions and the low dimensions, all 12 dimensions, and does what it makes it go pow. Why do we say pow? There are Hebrew words with the Fe that express its power. The word power comes from Fe or P. And so Aleph, what it is, its essence, its principle that is living in the form and in the sound. And if we have the intention and make the effort to connect with this amazing thought of God, then we could benefit from what's been coded into it, from the talismanic, from the immaterial talismanic principle that's represented by the material talismanic form, by the essence which is in it. Essence, an aspect of God, one of the 22 Hebrew letters, one of the 22 building blocks of creation. So, again, the Aleph Bet, I see it divided into fours, and the first 12 into 3 groups of 4. Immensely holy, immensely powerful. So I see it, as I said, pronounced this way: Av God, Hozach, Ticha. The first one. The first 2 and the 4, as I understand, are always a conversion system, which I explained earlier. Step down. It steps down and it takes one level and sends it forward on another level. Conversion system. First 2 letters, Av. It's an AV conversion system. Aleph Bet. The Aleph is very vertical, coming down, as maybe you noticed earlier, opening to below and above. And the Bet is very horizontal, like the bee, blasting it out in the Big Bang. So it's a conversion system. It also means father. Av. Well, a father, like a mother, is a conversion system. We father children. So they come along because we've converted a certain amount of heavenly energy, divine energy that's in us, to produce a child. And that means that a man and a woman, a father and a mother, are conversion systems as well. So, the Av, you could hear that V. The V, which is written in the form of a bet without a point in the middle, which is called a bet. Okay, now you could hear that V. V is the feminine symbol. 2 most well-known esoteric symbols are the angle pointing up, like if you made a triangle without the bottom line. That's the the opposite of the polarity of the V, and of course the V is the opposite. The V is connected in the middle and two lines going up from the point in the middle. Like a triangle, but without being closed. So the Va, the Av, that Va receives, but it also sends out, like a black hole, by the way. So the word, for instance, vagina. Vagina receives, and it also brings forth, radiates out. Also the sacred fluid of menstruation, and also giving birth. So that's the V. It receives on the one hand, and it brings out. And there are other words, interesting words with V, vehicle, victory. They all express the outward radiating of V. Julius Caesar said, Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. That's the outward expression of the V, not the feminine, not at all. Okay. Speaking about the V, or the pyramid, the tetrahedron, it's very interesting. The V receives and sends out. And Nassim Haramein, I earlier said that he teaches that the black hole's singularity, it's one and the same, is the central basic unit of creation, the basic fractal of creation, which is repeated over and over again towards the infinitely small and the infinitely large. Well, the V, or tetrahedral form, Star of David, the concave geometry of that, it's a collapsing geometry, and it falls in and in and in. It receives. But the black hole, the singularity, also radiates out, creating everything we see, including the universe and our bodies. So the V receives and it radiates out. And since the whole universe is one big fractal, this pattern is demonstrated, repeated, but easily seen throughout what's called the biological resolution, the organic biological world. So for instance, the vagina, it receives, but it sends out. The eyes, they receive the light registered in our brain, but we also send light from our eyes. We send energy through our eyes. The mouth, we put in food, but we also speak. So, and send out energy. So the V receives and it sends out. It represents the concave geometry, collapsing geometry of the black hole singularity. In any case, the Av God, the first sacred house of God, in order to, like the sacred talismans in the Egyptian temples, if you really want to experience the charged, divine, collapsed ideas in the Hebrew letters and sounds, then you have to dance with it. You have to merge with it. So you have to live it. So the first one, the first house, is the Av God. Av God, that's the conversion system. That Vet, the second letter, it receives the of the love that creates all, and it radiates it out. The Big Bang. The Gimel, the God, like the G. Third letter, well, it's a catalyst. And the catalyst, that fiery spark that activates. That Gimel is represented by Gabriel's horn. It's not an accident that Gabriel has to begin with the Gimel, because he blows the horn that calls the souls to earth or to the next world. He blows the horn. He's the catalyst. Gabriel, and then the Bet receives it, blasts it out there to the rest of that L conversion system. And then the Dalet is the fourth letter. It's the house. It's the earth. It's the receiver of that spark, that catalyst, that sacred sound. So, you want to experience the Av God, then you have to become, live, dance with the first two letters, the conversion system of the Av. Can you feel that sacred Ah being received by the Va? First it's being received and then it's being broadcast out. It's a living conversion system. And we are that as well. Nothing outside of ourselves. So, Av God, Av God, Av God, Av God. The thing is, to really become this house, this conversion system, this singularity, become it with intent and with emotion. Av God, Av God. I feel myself becoming that radiating singularity black hole. Av God. Av God. Now the second syllable, the God, okay? Well, that Gimel is the catalyst. And for me, it's like sacred penetrating, fertilizing energy that transforms the house of the Dalet, the four. For me, I feel the energy of like promising, of swearing to something in that God. Of God. Of God. Of God. Of God. Hozach. Tichal. And I feel that in the third letters of all the other three houses. So, moving to the next house. The Hozach. Okay? The conversion system of the heavenly, very etheric Ha, and the infinite power, radiance of the O. Ho. Ho. They're very opposite sounds, but very connected. And the O, like the Ba or the Va, radiates out big time. So, Ho. Ho. You must become that hole, that black hole. Incidentally, the Ho, they say that the Hu or the Ho creates all things. That word Ho in the word whole, in the word hologram, in the word, so many words. Home, Hosanna. No accident that they begin with the Ho. So, that Ho does create, indeed, the infinite power of all that is in the Ho. It creates, it's a conversion system. Hope. Holy, 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 holy is the Lord of hosts.